$95 million. That's how much Missouri marijuana tax revenue is sitting in state accounts right now, earmarked for veterans, public defenders, and drug treatment programs. Voters said spend it. Lawmakers won't authorize it. And every month, that pile grows. State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick just released a report hammering legislators and the governor for letting this money stagnate. His office found the agencies have communicated their need for additional resources, but the full amount of funds available have not been appropriated in the approved budgets. Here's the background. When Missouri voters legalized adult use marijuana in 2022, they approved a constitutional amendment splitting tax revenue after operating expenses evenly into three funds. One third goes to the state public defender's office. One third goes to the Missouri Veterans Commission. One third goes to drug treatment programs through the Department of Health and Senior Services. That's the law. It's in the Constitution. Budget officials estimate revenues will hit $88.8 million in the upcoming fiscal year, July 2026 through June 2027. Governor Mike Kehoe's budget proposes transferring $131.7 million of recreational marijuana money into those three funds, 40 million each for veterans and addiction treatment. The public defender system would receive 51.7 million, partly to make up for funds that lawmakers withheld last year. But here's the problem. Moving money into the funds doesn't mean anyone can spend it. Lawmakers still have to authorize spending. And even if they approve Kehoe's budget as proposed, a combined $61.5 million would still sit in those three funds untouchable. Let's break down where the money gets stuck, starting with public defenders. The public defender's office wanted to use cannabis money to raise starting attorney pay from $65,000 to $70,000 a year. That would align with what the Attorney General's office pays entry level lawyers. The House shot it down last year. This year, Matthew Crowell, director of the State Public Defender's Office, went back to ask again. He told the House Budget Committee, quote, "We are dealing with about a 23% turnover rate, which has significant impacts on our clients and the length of cases. The number one cited reason when our attorneys leave is pay. For reference, the Missouri House just hired a new lawyer for around $74,000. The Senate hired one for $80,000. Both were previously public defenders. The public defender's office pays those same attorneys only $62,000. Kehoe recommended $7.3 million for pay raises. House Budget Chairman Dirk Deaton cut that in half. Corral also asked for 35 new mitigation specialist positions. These are social workers who connect defendants with basic needs so they don't violate probation and go back to jail. Corral called it, quote, the greatest thing we've done as public defenders in his 18 years. The governor and Deaton cut that request down to 20 positions. Overall, the public defender's office is asking to use 25.6 million of the cannabis funds for pay increases, social work positions, and technology upgrades. Even if they got everything they asked for, more than $33 million would still sit untouched in their fund. Money that, under the Constitution, can't be spent on anything else. Now for drug treatment programs. While Deaton cut funding for public defenders, he went the opposite direction here. He recommended spending 38.5 million on addiction treatment and education, with 28.2 million going to the Department of Mental Health, 1.8 million for corrections, 4.7 million for social services, and 3.8 million to the health department. But both the governor and Deaton's proposals would eliminate drug resistance education in schools, a $300,000 program, and cut a $500,000 grant for drug and DWI courts focused on medication assisted treatment. Republican State Rep John Black of Marshfield pushed back. He said, quote, one estimate is that $1 spent on these programs ultimately saves the state $7 in terms of restoring people to productive society. If the governor's numbers go through, 27.6 million in cannabis funds earmarked for these programs would remain unspent. Veterans are the one bright spot. The Missouri Veterans Commission would get the green light to spend the entire 40 million on continued support of the Veterans Homes program. That leaves no surplus in the Veterans Fund. It's the only fund that would be fully utilized. Now, here's the constitutional fight underneath all of this. The 2022 amendment says marijuana tax revenue, quote, shall provide new and additional funding and shall not replace existing funding. Crowell says that means lawmakers can't use cannabis money to reduce the public defender's core budget. But Deaton is pushing to do exactly that by about $8 million this year. Deaton's argument is that the Constitution refers to the budget at the time the amendment passed in 2022, not the current amount. Crowell obviously disagrees. He told legislators, quote, if tax revenue decreases or the Constitution is amended to remove these provisions, the public defender system will be in a world of hurt. Here's the bottom line. Missouri voters told the state exactly where this money should go. The Constitution mandates it. The agencies need it. And yet, at the end of this fiscal year, over $60 million could still be sitting in accounts that the intended beneficiaries cannot access. The auditor called it out. The question now is whether the legislature will act on it. If you practice in Missouri or advise clients in the cannabis space, this budget fight directly affects your world. The public defender crisis means longer case timelines. The treatment funding gaps mean fewer diversion options. And the constitutional interpretation battle could reshape how cannabis revenue gets deployed for years to come. Like and subscribe for ongoing coverage of Missouri cannabis policy.